I have a question for you. Are you too comfortable in life? And is that comfort killing your drive and ambition? Know thyself here. Please take this opportunity to like, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you stay up to date on all of my content when I release it. So I just wanted to drop in with you guys and talk about this issue of being comfortable and how we live in a society today which provides and has and gives us access to the most comfort and the most stability that humans have ever felt. I mean, if you think about it, most of the sharp edges of our world have been rounded so that if you want to, you can go throughout your entire life and not ever feel uncomfortable or pain. But if you think about how a life could be well lived and how people work hard, it usually means that if you're going to pursue a goal of anything, of any significance really, it's gonna require you to be uncomfortable. It's gonna require you to do things that you don't wanna do. For the most of us, we go through high school, and once we get out of high school, there are a lot of things that we did during our high school years that we never do again. I saw a stat recently that said that most people don't read any books after high school. And if you do, it's a handful if you don't go to college. And then if you go to college, the likelihood that you will read after college drops off by some astronomical amount of like 60 to maybe like 80%. So what does that say? In reading is not that big of a deal. Reading is not uncomfortable. But reading requires you to have your focus and attention on something, and it requires you to not break that focus and attention. And so for some people, reading is difficult. But if you think about where all of the knowledge is, all of the insight and wisdom is, more than likely it's in a book. The world rewards people. Our society, our system rewards those that do things that are difficult. Why? Because 99% of us won't do things that are difficult. Think about people at a job. How many times have you been or have you seen, maybe you've witnessed this at an office job, how people are more than content and they actually go out of their way to make sure that when they go to work, they do just only what they are paid to do. They never go above and beyond. They never ask for extra work or more difficult projects or a more difficult workload because they just want to do what they have to do and go home. You think about this in a relationship context. Everyone would tell you if you asked them, most people would tell you if you asked them, relationships are hard, relationships are difficult. If relationships are inherently difficult, which they are, I'm not disagreeing, they are, then why is it that people don't want to get into them, want to be in one, but don't want to do the work required to maintain, grow, and make a relationship work? Because it's hard. Because it's hard work to make a relationship work. It's hard work to excel in life. Now, if you think about it, there's nothing inherently wrong with wanting to have an easy life. We have civilized this planet, so especially in the West, to the point to where the majority of people can have a somewhat easy life, meaning that they at least get 3 meals a day. But if you think about how you could be rewarded and how you could grow and evolve, and that's what my channel is all about. It's about knowing who you are, knowing thyself. And in order for you to do that, you have to see what the depths of your own work ethic could potentially be. You have to go and witness your own potential in real time. How would you do this? You gotta put yourself in the position and in the space to do hard things. I'm paraphrasing a quote here that I heard that said, how tragic it would be for a man to get to the end of his life and never understand or never know the full capabilities of his body. Meaning that if you knew you had the potential to do more, but you never exercised it or pushed yourself to the point to where you could see that potential, would you consider yourself to have had a wasted time on this planet? For example, if you got to the end of your life and they reviewed it and they said you operated at a level 5, but you had the potential to operate at a level 10 or 11, all you would have had to have done was push yourself and do some hard things, and you would have seen that your operating level would have settled somewhere around 8 or 9, with 10 being the peak. But you settled for an operating level at a level 5. Just think about that. Think about how much more potential you have inside of you to execute and do hard things. And when you execute and do hard things and you help people at the same time, you make yourself valuable. And you get to live a life that is slightly better than everyone else. Not necessarily that may be what you want. Some people are comfortable where they are right now. They don't want to live a more luxurious life or something like that. But as men, I know we like to test our limits, or at least we should want to test our limits. We should want to see what the full potential of us could look like. What does that high level execution lifestyle look like for us? And then if you want to live a modest life, by all means, no one's judging you. But it's almost as if you have a whale. If you want to think about a metaphor, I like to think about a whale. And as you draw water from the whale, you maybe are not aware of how deep that well goes. And so if you're lowering your bucket to scoop water out, and you maybe have lowered it 10 feet, and you say there's no water at 10 feet deep. But somebody's like, well, what if you lowered it to 12 feet? You're like, if no one ever came around and told you, hey, maybe lower the bucket down to 12 feet and see if there's water there, you have no idea. There could be 20 feet of water underneath that 10 feet. But unless you lower the bucket down to try to scoop more water out, you'll never know. Same thing in your life. You need to figure out how to put yourself in situations where you can see your potential expressed. Maybe it's by taking hard fitness and aerobics classes. It could be by accepting more responsibility on the job. It could be by starting a side hustle and seeing if you can spin it up. It could be by taking courses and classes and reading books on how to be a better person, a better man, a better human, a better leader, a better partner in a relationship, a better partner in business, a better family member. You can read books to expand your knowledge And then you can learn how to be a better person in a whole bunch of different ways. How to improve, how to expand, and how to grow. So I want you to think about this as you move through your day. Is there another gear? Is there another level? Can you do the hard thing, not because you might get some external accolades, but so that you can see what the internal fortitude is? How deep does the internal well go inside of you? Know yourself, because you never know when you may have to tap into that deep internal well of self-support in order to get something done, in order to suffer in a meaningful way, in order to be resilient, in order to sit in the gap and allow the things to happen and to be able to withstand whatever comes your way. It's always better to be useful to yourself first, your family and or loved ones second, and then your community ultimately. And the only way, one of the very few ways I would say, that you can figure out how useful you can be to the outer world is to explore how useful you can be to the inner you. And one of the best ways to do that is to put yourself in situations where you can see how tough you really are. Take a difficult class. Read a book that's 1,000 pages. Get yourself some therapy. Lift weights. Work on your response to things. Get you some therapy. Work on yourself. And if you do this, you'll start to see how deep that reservoir of grit and toughness runs, and you'll see how much you can do and how much your potential can be to affect your world positively outside of yourself. And with that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into my content. Please hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you stay up to date on all of my content when I post it. I will see you guys on the next video. Take care of yourself. Okay, bye.